I miss seeing you.
I miss you too.
When is the SAP reset date?
Spook treats Halloween.
Okay,
Okay.
the 31st.
Okay.
In courtroom 2, let's see, whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow.
Good afternoon, Francois. I hope you're doing well.
I am. Thank you. I hope you are too.
Thank you. Yes.
We're going to start with position number 11, Miss Owens.
Yes. Good afternoon, Ms. Owens. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
No. Yes. Oh,
Thank you.
Sorry. Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Owens, you've been charged in case 23 CR 006232J with simple battery family violence. So good afternoon, Ms. Gordon. Is there a history?
Good afternoon. Good to see you, Judge. The defendant has 2 cycles beginning in 2007. Last arrest was September of 2008 from Atlanta for battery. No disposition was listed on that last arrest. The defendant meets criteria for UJR jail. Nothing further to add, Your Honor.
Okay. Who's presenting for the state?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Walker. Good to see you.
I think it's Ms. Dunlap's case. She's here and will be presenting for the state.
All right. Good afternoon, Ms. Dunlap.
We can't hear you, Ms. Dunlap. It's Owen. Oh yeah, let me see if I can just take it. So in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 2100 Metropolitan Parkway where they spoke with the victim, whose name is Christopher Birch. He advised that, I believe it's his sister, Ms. Owens, physically assaulted him over a dispute about money. It stated that the defendant bit the victim on his finger. We are asking for a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services, a stay away from the incident location, 2100 Metropolitan Parkway, no further contact with the victim, Christopher Birch, FDIP course, and no gun, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Afternoon, Ms. Abden. Is this your case?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, it is.
Okay. Any objection to anything that Mr. Walker has requested?
Yes, I'm requesting that signature bond be through the jail. We do not object to the no further contact. The complaining witness is my client's. He's the father of one of her children. It's a 4-year-old child. She has 2 children. The other is 14. And so we would need a third party transfer because he does help her with childcare. And my client is 34 years old. She's the primary breadwinner and primary caretaker of these 2 children, Your Honor. She is currently about to get her certificate as a nail tech and does need to take the license for that exam. She's also working, but she is currently experiencing some financial hardship, Your Honor. And due to her financial hardship and the obligation to her children, I think that reporting to pretrial would be difficult for her. She did state that she does deny the allegations. This was a misunderstanding. She stated that she was defending herself, and this was not the first time that he's been violent with her. And so since she is recommended, Your Honor, and due to her hardships and obligations, I am requesting that signature bond be through the jail.
So 2100 Metropolitan Parkway, who lives there?
That's a Texaco. gas
Oh,
station.
okay. So they don't live together?
No, Your Honor.
$2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Christopher Birch. Stay away from the Texaco at Metropolitan Parkway. Third-party transfer of the children for visitation. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Owens.
Thank you. You're done. You can go back and have this. Position 17, Thompson.
Hey, Your Honor,
Yes,
I have one quick question for Mr. Walker.
okay.
Walker, I sent your email.
Okay, I haven't had the opportunity to review it yet. I can look at it in between cases.
Regarding Marcus Johnson.
Yes, he should be on today's calendar. I'll have to take a look and maybe re-accuse it. I'm not sure.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and this is Crystal Thompson. Good afternoon, Ms. Thompson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Thompson, you've been charged in case 23 CR 006237C with unlawful conduct during a 911 call. Is there a history?
Your Honor, the defendant has 4 cycles beginning in 2000. Last arrest was November 4th of 2003 from Fulton County on a probation violation. The underlying charge was not listed. The probation violation was not prosecuted as of September 5th of 2020. Defendant has 2 prior misdemeanor convictions outside the 10-year period. She does meet criteria for UJR level 1. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Walker?
This isn't.
Oh, Ms. Dunlap, are you with us now?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ms. Dunlap.
Good afternoon. So Tamara Dunlap for the state. Between 10:14 and 10:15, Ms. Thompson called 911 approximately 11 times. She refused to give her address, used several racial slurs, as well as cursed at the dispatchers. She stated that she was racist and that she wishes to only speak to white people. She does not like Black people. And upon being approached by the officers, the defendant admitted to using the racial slurs and cursing at 911 operations. They is seeking 1,000 signature bond, no further frivolous claims at 911, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Is the state seeking $1,000 signature bond through the jail, Ms. Dunlap?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. White. Any objection to any of that?
Good morning, Judge. Sorry, good afternoon, Judge. No objection at all.
Okay, $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Don't use 911 unless there's a legitimate purpose, and be respectful when you do use 911. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Thompson.
Is that 500 each count? Is that what we're going with?
I only have one count, Mr. White.
I only show
Okay.
one charge as well.
Perfect.
Okay, all right.
Judge, they have it on the 3 card as well as 2 separate charges, the unlawful conduct and then yeah, they just have it twice on here, so.
Okay, I think it's unlawful conduct
you
during
open that room for me,
911
please?
calls by using obscene or vulgar language to intimidate or harass.
It's just
Yeah,
a long charge.
Right, but they gave her gave her 2 charges on our 3 card of that same one. It's 2 counts of it.
And Judge, I'm looking at the jail screen now. She's got a 161139-2B one charge and a 39-2B 2 charge. So just to make sure she's not hung up in jail, maybe we.
So, Mr. Walker, you with me?
I'm here, Your Honor. I'll have to take a look at the jailing screen, but as far as right now, we consent to a signature bond on count 2 if it exists, then I can confirm how many charges she's booked in on the jail.
There's 2 warrant numbers as well.
Okay, so if that's the case, then we'll just make it $1,000 signature bond through the jail on both counts. If one falls off, then the other one will be $1,000 signature bond through the jail.
Thank you, Judge.
You're done. Go ahead and have a seat.
You're welcome.
Position 5, child parade.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Ray. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
You have been charged in case 23 CR 0062288H with transmitting false report of fire. Is there a history, Ms. Gordon?
Your Honor, the defendant has one cycle, which was her last arrest of April 8th of this year from North Syracuse, New York, driving while intoxicated. First offense, no disposition listed. Nothing further to add, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the defendant pulled a fire alarm at a building located at 2705 Shackleford. Hold on, let me pull it up. Oh, 1 second. I'm sorry, located at 1163 West Peachtree Street. We are asking for a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial services, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol.
Say it again. I'm sorry, Mr. Walker.
We're
You're
asking for a
requesting-
$2,500 signature bond through pretrial services, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol.
Ms. Abden, if it's okay with you, it'll be a $2,500 signature bond through the jail and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
Yes, Your Honor, no objection. I do want to state one thing for the record. My client did ask me to say she has a twin sister. Her name is Jenny Michelle, same last name. And she tells me that the criminal history that was read, she has reason to believe that was her sister. So I just wanted to state that on the record.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And let me just also state before we go on to the next person that this is a court hearing. You all should conduct yourselves as if you are actually in a courtroom with me. If there are any inappropriate pictures that you are displaying on this hearing, I need for you to eliminate those pictures immediately. I'm speaking directly to the Zoom user who is muted. So. Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Who do we have next?
Judge, next is going to be a private attorney case, position number 8, Ms. Jenkins. Have a seat over here, Ms. Jenkins. You can sit in the black chair.
Okay. Good afternoon, Judge. Good to see you. Thomas Flug on behalf of Ms. Jenkins, whenever you're ready.
Afternoon. Good to see you also. I have Ms. Jenkins as position number 9 on my calendar. Good afternoon, Ms. Jenkins. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 23 CR 006242F with simple assault family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Gordon?
Your Honor, the record indicates the defendant has no criminal history on file. She did meet criteria for UJR through the jail, nothing further.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 1101 Northside Drive where they spoke to the victim. 1 second. Miss Brianna Jacobs. I believe Miss Jacobs is on the line, so we would sound for her. This was an incident between the defendant and Miss Jenkins, who are roommates. The state is asking for a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with the victim, Ms. Brianna Jacobs, and a stay away from the incident location, 1101 Northside Drive.
Counsel?
Judge, my client is a student at Georgia State University. She's currently enrolled in the master's program there. My understanding is that this was her roommate. Judge, we are asking for an unsecured judicial release. We do plan to probably relocate and have a new residence in location, but we will need permission, obviously with an escort, to accompany her back to a residence to get her items that do belong to her. We do obviously intend to dispute the charges. I'm present here in first appearance to ensure that the rights are maintained. And so we would ask for an unsecured judicial release. She has zero criminal history, Judge. Allegations of simple assault. There was no visible injuries to the other opposing party. Otherwise, she would have been obviously cited for a battery or simple battery. And so we would ask for an unsecured judicial release, Your Honor.
Okay, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Ms. Brianna Jacobs. Let's see, is Ms. Jacobs on the line? Okay, no further contact with Ms. Brianna Jacobs. Stay away from the 1101 Northside Drive address. She can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that she might have there. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank you.
Good
Your
luck.
Honor.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, Ms. Jenkins.
Thank you. Position number 1, Arnold Teresa.
Sit right here and I can talk through real quick.
Sure.
Good afternoon, Ms. Arnold. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. You agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Arnold. You've been charged in case 23 CR 006224A with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Gordon?
Yes, Your Honor, the defendant has 3 cycles beginning in 1988. The last arrest was July of 2009 from Fulton County for willful obstruction of law enforcement officers and battery. Both charges resulted in misdemeanor conviction August the 6th of 2009. One prior misdemeanor conviction outside the 10-year period. Defendant meets criteria for UJR level 2, nothing further.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1026 Ponce de Leon, where they spoke with the victim. The victim's name is Miss Makita Thomas. She advised that her neighbor, Miss Arnold, and her were engaged in a verbal altercation where Miss Arnold picked up a wooden stick and attacked her. The state is recommending to the 1 count of battery, a $1,500 signature bond through pretrial services, a stay away from that incident location, no contact with the victim, Miss Makita Thomas, an anger awareness course, no weapons, drugs, and or alcohol. And I would sign for the victim, Miss Makita Thomas.
If Ms. Makita Thomas is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. You, of course, do not have to address the court, but if you would like to, you'll have to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in. Is Ms. Thomas on the line with us? Is this Ms. Thomas on the Nokia?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Thomas, you're going to have to unmute yourself if you'd like to speak to me.
He has 9 cycles.
Ms. Gordon, you came off mute. While she's trying to do that, Ms. Abden, would you like to present?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. My client is 64 years old. She was born in Atlanta, has lived here her whole life. She's currently unemployed, Your Honor, due to her disability. She is receiving SSI and is on a fixed income, so her indigency is a concern. She also suffers from extensive health conditions that require her to take medications daily. She cannot receive the same level of care while she's in jail, Your Honor. And so I ask you to take that into consideration when setting bond today. My client also was recently widowed as of March of 2023, which has been very difficult for her emotionally. In terms of the charge before you today, she firmly denies the allegations, Your Honor. It's my understanding that she and the complaining witness have had issues since May of 2023. My client has reported this to the management of her building. Sounds like they've not done anything. And without going too much into the facts, my client tells me that she was not the first aggressor, and the complaining witness came at her with pepper spray. We would object to the stay away. My client lives at this apartment. She doesn't have anybody else to live with in Georgia. She lives at apartment 724. And so we would not object to a stay away from whatever apartment Ms. Thomas lives in, but she does need to return home. And I am requesting that signature bond be through the jail, Your Honor. She's not been in any trouble or arrested since 2009. And due to her health conditions and everything I've stated, reporting with pretrial would be difficult for her.
Mr. Walker, do you know what apartment Ms. Thomas resides in?
1 second. I have it that she resides in. I don't have her unit number. I understand that the defendant resides at 724, so we'll just ask for a stay away specifically from the victim.
Okay. So it will be, I'm sorry, Ms. Thomas, if I see that you have not been able to get yourself to a place where you're able to communicate with the court, but I see that you are here. In regards to the bond, it will be a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Ms. Marquita Thomas. Stay away from Ms. Thomas's apartment. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Arnold.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
You're done. You can go ahead. Position 15, Spikes.
Good afternoon, Ms. Spikes. I'm Judge Eric Warner. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Thank you. Ms. Spikes, you've been charged in case 23 CR 006235A with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Gordon?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant has 10 cycles beginning in 2004 with arrests from the states of Michigan and Georgia. Last arrest was November of 2021 from DeKalb County for failure to appear. That a failure to appear charge was amended to a non-fingerprintable offense. Record also indicates 2 prior misdemeanor convictions from the state of Michigan outside the 10-year period, a 2021 misdemeanor conviction from Brookhaven for driving without a valid license. Nothing further to add, Your Honor.
Ms. Dunlap?
So law enforcement was dispatched to Ms. Blake's residence. They were informed that the defendant and her daughter, we can find for the victim, Miss Luea Joyner, who lives with her, were arguing. The defendant bit her finger, causing her to bleed. The state is seeking a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial services. No further contact with her daughter, Luea Joyner. Stay away from the residence, 2301 Godby Road, apartment looks like H17 College Park. No guns, drugs, or alcohol, and the violence for one.
Let's see, is Ms. Joyner with us this afternoon? If you are and you wish to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. White, and also note that I believe your client has her hand up, Mr. White, but go ahead.
Judge, we're in agreement with everything except for the stay away. Ms. Spikes does live with her daughter. She is also on a fixed income. She has stomach cancer as well, and has no other place to stay. So we would ask for no further violent contact. We did speak briefly with Ms. Spikes, and her determination was that basically the complaining witness jumped on her back, and anything that happened there was basically self-defense. So, but we have no issues with anything except we'd ask for a no further violent contact order.
How old is the daughter?
Judge, she's an adult. I don't know that much. I'm not sure of the actual age. 20 something.
And again, your client has her hand up, Mr. White.
I would advise her not to speak at this point.
She just wanted to answer the question as far as the age.
Oh, that is fine.
She's 29. She is my caregiver too.
That's,
Okay, thank you. It'll be a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Joyner, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Spikes.
Thank you.
thank you, Your Honor.
That was the pretrial, Judge, correct? Yeah.
That's correct, yes.
Thank you. Position 7, Blades.
Is the last name Ilka?
Yeah, they have it switched around. The
Okay,
last name is supposed to be Blades and the first name is Elka.
okay, so the last name is Blades.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Blades. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Can you hear me, Mr. Blades?
Oh, it's Miss Blades.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ms. Blades. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 23 CR 00622J9J with battery family violence. Is there a history?
The defendant has 2 cycles beginning in 2021. Last arrest was September 16th of this year for simple assault family violence, and that was out of Atlanta. The case is open to Judge Besson under 23 CR 005569J. There's also a first offender probation out of Fulton County for simple battery and obstruction of law enforcement officer, case 21 CR 004975J, 12 months probation, disposition date of March 1st of this year, 2023. Nothing further to add, Your Honor.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. Law enforcement spoke to a Ms. Brittany Coleman, who advised the defendant and her were engaged in a verbal altercation that turned physical. The defendant did strike the victim around her neck. The officer did observe visible bruising. The state is asking for a $4,000 surety, no contact with the victim. Again, the victim's name is Brittany Coleman, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
And they don't live together?
They've lived together, but it's my understanding that the victim has moved out of the home.
Okay, thank
And
you.
I would sound for the victim is Brittany Coleman.
Ms. Coleman is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Okay, Ms. Abden?
Thank you, Your Honor. We are objecting to the surety bond, Your Honor. And I'm asking for a signature bond. She is 55 years old. She's lived in Georgia for the past 20 years consistently, graduated from high school. She currently lives with a special needs daughter. She is 31 years old, Your Honor, and she's her primary caretaker. She also has another child living in the home named Ariana, who's her foster daughter. It's my understanding that Ariana and the complaining witness are biological sisters, and the complaining witness was temporarily staying with my client, and she has since moved out. We would not object to a no further contact. And due to the fact that she is currently on a fixed income, her indigency is a concern, and her need to take care of her special needs daughter would make reporting to pretrial very difficult for her as well. And it's my understanding that she cannot afford any amount of bond at this time, Your Honor.
Is she out on a pretrial bond on the open case? Do you know, Mr. Walker?
I have it as a SOB through the jail.
Okay.
And that person is not residing in the home. That is her other daughter, and it was a misunderstanding. That is all.
All right. It's going to be $1,000 good bond, no further contact with Brittany Coleman. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck, Ms. Blades.
Position 18, Towns.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Towns. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Towns. Let's see, you've been charged in case 23 CR 006238E with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Ms. Gordon?
Yes, Your Honor, the defendant has 31 cycles beginning in 2004. Last arrest was October of 2022 from Atlanta for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. That case is open under 22 CP 213399. As a second open case, Your Honor, for possession of cocaine with intent to distribute, obstruction of law enforcement officer, possession and use of drug-related objects, 21 CP 205479. There's also probation from Fulton County for possession of cocaine with intent to distribute, case 15 SC 138039, 35 years probation, disposition date June 21st of 2016. A second case, Your Honor, for possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, 10 years probation on case 16 SC 140940, 10 years probation, 5 misdemeanor convictions outside the 10-year period, 4 FTAs, and 1 violation of probation within the past 10 years. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Stella?
Officers observed the defendant at the gas station. He made eye contact with the officer several times before ducking behind the gas station. Upon approaching him, officers asked for defendant's ID, which he was unable to produce, provided officers with the name Jamal Towns. Upon running the date of birth and name that he provided the officer, they found a probation outstanding warrant. They attempted to take the defendant into custody. He fled on foot, Your Honor. Once the officers caught up with him, he was resisting arrest. They advised him to stop, and eventually he stopped resisting, and complied. It was taken into custody. State is requesting $1,000 signature bond, stay away from the incident location, is the gas station he was arrested at, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
What's the gas station's name and where is it located?
Gas station is 32 Dotson Drive Connector, Atlanta, Georgia. And second, the gas station is I'm sorry, Your Honor. Gas station's address is actually not, that is Mr. Towns' address. He was observed at 639 Morsongo, Morosgo Drive, Atlanta. And I believe it is sorry, it doesn't say the name of the gas station here. Second. Sorry, and I'm just trying to figure out what the gas station's name is. It's not listed in any of the documents I have.
Okay, but it is located at 639 Morsongo Drive, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. McLeod. Is this
Good
your
afternoon,
client?
Your Honor. It is my client. We do not object to the signature bond and with the stay away, Your Honor.
Okay, so it'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail, stay away from the gas station at 639 Morsongo Drive, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Towns.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Ms. McLeod. We
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
Position 8, sorry.
No, go
Position-
ahead.
Position 14, Sinclair.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sinclair. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Say yes for me if that's what you're indicating.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Sinclair, you've been charged in case 23 CR 006240C with criminal trespass. Is there a history?
The defendant has one cycle, which was his last arrest of January 20th of this year by the Marta Police Department for unlawful carrying of a weapon. That case is open. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Dunlap?
Yep. The defendant trespassed on MARTA property. He's actively suspended in MARTA vehicles or property as of February 19th, 2023. The state is seeking $2,000 signature bond. Stay away from, it looks like 30 Alabama Streets, Atlanta. That looks like the station. All MARTA property and no guns, drugs, or alcohol.
So if it's agreeable with you, Mr. White, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail and abide by any active MARTA suspensions. Does that work for you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Sinclair, I'm going to let you out, but you have to abide by the MARTA suspensions, okay? Good luck to you, sir.
Position 19, Troutman.
Good morning.
No, can't see.
Yes, good afternoon. Troutman, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Troutman, you've been charged in case 23 CR 006239F with theft by shoplifting. Is there a history, Ms. Gordon?
The defendant has 43 cycles beginning in 1998. Last arrest was October of 2022 from Atlanta for willful obstruction of law enforcement officers and theft by shoplifting. There's probation from Fulton County for willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, 12 months probation, disposition date of December 15th of 2022 on case 22 CR 007294F. There's also probation for theft by shoplifting out of Fulton County, 12 months probation, disposition date, same date of 12/15/2022. 22 CR 007293F as in father, 6 prior misdemeanor convictions outside the 10-year period, a 2014 misdemeanor conviction from DeKalb County for theft by taking, 2015 misdemeanor conviction forgery in the 4th degree out of Houston County, 2017 forgery in the 4th degree misdemeanor conviction from Wilcox County, 2016 misdemeanor conviction from Fulton County criminal trespass, and a 2017 misdemeanor conviction, Fulton County, possession of marijuana less than an ounce. 4 violations of probation past 10 years, a 2017 felony conviction for battery family violence, and a 2021 felony conviction, Fulton County, willful obstruction of law enforcement officer. Nothing further to add, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case the defendant was arrested for shoplifting at King of Pops located at Ponce City Market. That address is 675 Ponce de Leon. We're asking for a $3,000 signature bond through the jail and to stay away from the incident location. King of Pops, 675 Ponce de Leon.
Any objection to any of that, Mr. White?
No objection, Judge.
Your Honor,
Yes, Ms. Gordon.
apologize to the court. There are 2 misdemeanor convictions for theft by shoplifting, both in 2012. One was from Rockdale County, the other was from DeKalb County. Again, I apologize to the court.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Gordon. $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the King of Pops located at 675 Ponce de Leon. Good luck and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Troutman.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome.
Position 13, Shabazz.
Your Honor, sorry.
Yes.
Pad needs to speak with somebody who's not on the calendar just to see if they consent. I just wanted to let the jail know that Drew from Pad is trying to call.
Okay, did Francois,
It's for Johnson.
Johnson? Okay, I'll get him
Yeah.
to.
Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Shabazz. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, Judge. Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Shabazz. Let's see, you've been charged in case 23 CR 006234J with battery and cruelty to children in the third degree. Is there a history, Ms. Gordon?
The defendant has 13 cycles beginning in 1988. Last arrest was November of 2018 from Gwinnett County for destroy, remove, conceal, encumber, transfer, deal with property subject to security interest. The charge resulted in a misdemeanor conviction August 21st of 2019. One prior felony conviction outside the 10-year period. Nothing further to add, Your Honor.
So no violence in his history?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Dunlap.
Law enforcement responded to a physical altercation at defendant's residence with, looks like a child present who's under the age of 18, Shalib Shaw, and victim Naima Herring, which is the child's mother. The child's father was called by the child to the residence upon hearing that the defendant and Ms. Herring were arguing and a physical altercation. He waited for the police. The victim, Ms. Herring, she stated that her current boyfriend, the defendant, they've been arguing a lot lately. He made comments about her still speaking to her separated husband when she denied them. He proceeded to jack her up, specifically slapped her in the face. Her minor son was present for the incident. He personally witnessed the attack. He also mentioned to Ms. Herring that he's going to kill her, and she has not gone to the police in the past because of this. We can sound from Ms. Herring inappropriate. The state is looking for $1,500 surety bond in regards to the cruelty to the children charge, a $500 surety bond in regards to the battery, as well as no further contact with Ms. Herring, no further contact with the child, and stay away from 649 Elbert Street Southwest, no guns, alcohol, or drugs, and an anger management course.
So just so that I'm clear, Ms. Dunlap, for the cruelty, you're asking for a $1,500 surety, and for the battery, a $500 surety, making it a total of a $2,000 surety?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. White?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking Mr. Shabazz be allowed to sign his own bond. He is on limited income, SSI. He does have many health issues, including hypertension and kidney failure. He's on dialysis, and any incarceration would be an incredible hardship. He has no violence in his history. As well, excuse me, as well, the last arrest being a misdemeanor sounds like a civil case to me. We're asking him to be allowed to sign his own bond so that he can get the health care that he needs.
Okay, for the cruelty, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the battery.
And Judge, I'm sorry, I meant to address the cruelty to children in the third degree. That can't follow a battery. This is not a family violence. While the alleged victim and Mr. Shabazz are in a relationship, they have never lived with one another, do not share children with one another, and have never been married, obviously. So we would ask that the cruelty to children in the third degree be dismissed.
Well, that's inaccurate. Cruelty to children can follow a battery. It does not have to be family violence.
Okay.
All right, I'll let y'all work that out down the road. I'm going to give him signature bonds on both of these, Mr. White. So for the cruelty, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the battery, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, makes it for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Herring. Stay away from Ms. Herring's address. Ms. Dunlap, I'm not sure if you provided me with that address or not, but if you would give that to the court.
649 Albert Street Southwest.
Say it again for me.
649 Elbert Street Southwest.
Okay, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Did you have something for me, Ms. Gordon?
Yes, I was gonna ask, is there a level that you want on that pretrial release?
Level 1 is fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Shabazz.
Thanks much, sir.
Position 10, Kalari.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Kalori. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you.
And Judge Yolanda Smith on behalf of Mr. Kalari.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Smith.
Good afternoon.
Let's see, Mr. Kalari, you've been charged in case 23 CR 006231G with criminal trespass and damage to property, 2 counts and simple assault. Is there a history?
The record indicates the defendant has no criminal record on file. He meets criteria for UJR level 1 with parental cosigner. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Dunlap?
So defendant vandalized a Jewish fraternity house at Georgia Tech campus. We are asking for the $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services. Defendants to stay away from 714 Techwood Drive Northwest. We're asking for a stay away from 630 William Street Northwest. No further contact with Benjamin Pulaski. Looks like he was one of the members of the fraternity that led officers there. And then no drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
The last name of Benjamin is Ms. Dunlap?
It looks like Selesky, SELEPSKY.
And you're asking for a $3,000 signature bond. Is that $1,000 per charge?
I believe so, yes. Yes.
Yes, Ms. Smith.
Yes, Judge, I would just need clarification as it relates to the addresses because Mr. Kalari is a full-time student at Georgia Tech. So we just want to ensure that he is obviously able to get to his classes.
Okay.
Obviously, we wouldn't have an issue with him staying away from Benjamin. We have no issue with the no alcohol, no drugs. He's like I said, a full-time student at Georgia Tech, has a full caseload at Georgia Tech. So again, just need clarification as it relates to those addresses, because in addition to him being a full-time student, he stays on campus.
Let's see. So I've got 714 Techwood Drive. Do we know, Ms. Dunlap, what that address is?
So listed here as Alpha Epsilon Phi Fraternity's house.
Okay, so that's a fraternity house. What about 630 William Street?
Smith Residence Hall, where the defendant spray painted Free Palestine.
Does he need to go to either Smith Hall or that fraternity house, Ms. Smith?
And Judge, if only because my office was just retained maybe an hour ago, if I could have an opportunity just to ask Mr. Kalari if he resides at Smith Hall.
Okay, can we just ask him on camera here?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, that's fine. Miss Courtroom 2, can you unmute for me?
Yes, I live in Smith Residence Hall.
So we would just limit it to the fraternity house, Your Honor.
Okay.
And we wouldn't object to that, Judge. We would be asking, though, that it be a $1,000 signature bond. He, as already been reported, he doesn't have any priors, and we would ask that it be through the jail, Judge.
Okay. It will be $1,000 signature bond for each charge, so it'll be a $3,000 signature bond total through the jail. No further contact with Benjamin, SELEPSKY, and stay away from the fraternity house located at 714 Techwood Drive. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Very well. Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes, have a good day. Thank you.
You
Good
too,
luck
Judge.
to you, Mr. Calori.
Jean Louise, position 9. Before we continue, I just want to make sure, Mr. Johnson, he's not needed to be seen by you, correct, Judge? Because he's with the pad, so it's going to be pretty much dismissed or misacted.
Yeah, it's my understanding the case was not accused, and I'm gonna send a consent order for him to be released to pad tomorrow.
Okay, I just want to make sure because we just took him back. I just want to make sure he doesn't have to be seen before.
He does not, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and so this is, I've got Mr. Willem Jean Louis as position number 8 on my calendar. Good afternoon, Mr. Jean Louis. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 23 CR 006230F with criminal trespass and damage to property and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Gordon?
The defendant has 26 cycles beginning in 2000 with arrests from the states of Florida and Georgia. Last arrest was October 5th of this year, Your Honor, from Fulton County for criminal trespass and theft by shoplifting. That case is an open case and was being supervised by pretrial under 23 CR 005984F. Pretrial will surrender that bond today. There's also an open case open to Judge Richardson for criminal trespass, pedestrian and roadway, open case 23 CR 004590F. There's also probation in Fulton County for reckless conduct, possession and use of drug-related objects, theft by taking, public indecency, 12 months probation as of June 2nd of this year. Case 23 CR 002920F, 1 FTA, 3 violations of probation within the past 10 years. Nothing further to add, Your Honor.
Walker.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the defendant was previously criminally trespassed from 1105 Holcomb Bridge Road. He was captured on surveillance camera at the property yet again. He was also spray painting the business located at that location. The state is asking for a $500 signature bond on each count for a total of $1,000 signature bond through the jail and to stay away from 1105 Holcomb Bridge Road.
Mr. Jean Louis. Ms. Abdon, Mr. White.
It should be Miss Abdon.
Ms. Abdon, we're on Mr. Willem Jean Louis position on my calendar, number 8. Is that your client?
I was told that he spoke with PD White.
I did speak with him, Judge. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
That's no, you're fine, Mr. White. Let's see. The request, Mr. White, is a $500 signature bond through the jail and stay away from 1105 Holcomb Bridge Road. Any objection to any of that?
None whatsoever, Judge.
Okay, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
And Your Honor, just to clarify, I believe there's 2 counts of criminal trespass, one's damage, and then the other is just a regular criminal trespass. So it'll be $1,000 signature bond total.
Right, that's what I have. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Walker. All right, Mr. Jean Louis, good luck to you, sir.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
So that's 1,000 on each,
No, it's 500 on each. 1,000
500,
total.
and it's set through the jail?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Position 3, Blackwell.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Blackwell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Blackwell, you've been charged in case 23 CR 006226E with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Gordon?
The defendant has 39 cycles beginning in 1998, with the rest from the states of North Carolina, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. Last arrest was October of 2022 from Atlanta for driving while license suspended or revoked. That resulted in 12 months probation, February the 27th of this year. There is a 2014 misdemeanor conviction from DeKalb County for DUI with an obstruction of law enforcement officer, a 2015 misdemeanor conviction, DeKalb County, disorderly conduct, a 2017 misdemeanor conviction from Fulton County for hit and run, 2 violations of probation within the past 10 years. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 3390 Stratford Road, where they spoke to a Miss Tashana Menifee. She advised that her and the defendant were engaged in a verbal altercation when he became physical, pushing her against the wall and striking her several times. The arresting officer did observe visible injuries on Miss Menifee's body. The state is asking for a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with Miss Tashana Menifee, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. The victim has moved from the incident location, so there is no need for a stay away. And I would sound for the victim is Tashana Menifee.
Ms. Menifee is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 42 years old. He's been living in Georgia his whole life. He's a father of twin daughters. They are 13 years old. One of them lives with my client. The other lives with her mother. And so he does have an obligation to that daughter, both financially and driving the daughter to and from school. And he's the only person who can take care of her at this time. He is gainfully employed, Your Honor. He has 2 different jobs. He works at Black Truck Service and also as a sound engineer. For the first job, he's been doing that for almost a year, and the sound engineering he's been doing for about 5 years. As I've stated, due to his obligation to his child, I am requesting a signature bond, Your Honor, and I'm asking you to take that into consideration when setting bond today. He does not have the financial resources to afford a $3,000 bond at this time. And I also spoke with the complaining witness, Your Honor. It's my understanding she was unable to make it to court today. She did state that she was not living at that address, and so a stay away was not necessary. She also requested no further violent contact and asked me to relay that to the court.
Well, Your Honor, that's weird because we also spoke with the victim and she said that they have a history of domestic violence, and that's why the state is asking for no further contact. And I also have that she wishes no contact, according to the notes from the victim advocate.
I spoke with her about 10 minutes before court, Your Honor. That's what she told me, but I will leave it up to the court.
$1,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Menifee, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Blackwell.
Thank you, sir.
Position 6, Gann.
Afternoon, Mr. Gann. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Gann, you've been charged in case 23 CR 006241Y with criminal trespass. Is there a history?
The defendant has 22 cycles beginning in 1988. Last arrest was December of 2022 by the Georgia State Patrol for possession and use of drug-related objects, 2 counts of possession of methamphetamine, driving under the influence of drugs, and a probation violation. Record indicates probation in Baldwin County, Georgia for possession of methamphetamine with intent to distribute, 15 years confinement, 30 years probation, disposition date, June 10th of 2016, a second probation out of Hancock County, possession of methamphetamine, 3 years probation, Disposition date July 12th of this year, 2023. And also indicates that the defendant is on parole for the possession of meth with intent to distribute on parole until May 26th of 2030. 3 violations of probation within the past 10 years, 6 misdemeanor convictions within the past 10 years. No, outside the 10-year period, I apologize. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the defendant has previously been criminally trespassed from Paloma West Midtown, located at 800 Marietta Street. Despite that previous criminal trespass, he came back to the property. The state is asking for a stay away from that incident location, along with $1,000 signature bond through the jail.
Any objection to any of that, Ms. Abden?
No objection, Your Honor.
$1,000 signature bond through the jail, stay away from Paloma West Midtown, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Gann.
Thank you, sir.
Position 2, Arnold Tyree.
Good afternoon, Mr. Arnold. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Arnold, you've been charged in case 23 CR 006225J with battery, family violence, simple battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history, Ms. Gordon?
The defendant has 4 cycles beginning in 1997. Last arrest was December of 2008 out of Union City for simple battery, family violence. That case was dead docketed May 11th of 2009. There's also a first offender in 2001 out of DeKalb County for burglary, which was sealed in 2001. 1 prior misdemeanor conviction outside the 10-year period. Defendant meets criteria for UJR level 2. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr.
Yes, Your
Walker?
Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 14 Jerome Road, where they spoke to a Ms. Tanika Arnold and Ms. Tatiana Arnold. Ms. Tanika Arnold is the defendant's wife. She advised that her and the defendant were engaged in a verbal altercation when he became physical towards her and her daughter. The state is asking for a $1,500 signature bond on each count for a total of $4,500 signature bond through pretrial services. No further violent contact with Ms. Tanika Arnold, no further violent contact with Ms. Tatiana Arnold, the condition of an FBIP course, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. I believe that Ms. Tanika Arnold may be on Zoom, so I would sound for her.
If Ms. Arnold, Ms. Tanika Arnold is on the call and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. You, of course, do not have to address the court, but if you choose to, you'll have to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in. And I do see a Tamikia Arnold on the screen. Does not appear that she wishes to address the court. Ms. Abden?
Thank you, Your Honor. I am objecting to the FIP course. This is not his sentencing. It's not necessary at this time. And no objection to the signature bond. However, I am requesting that be through the jail. The incident allegedly occurred over a year ago, Your Honor. I tried to contact the complaining witness and I did not have the correct phone number for her, but she does appear to be on the line. We are requesting no further violent contact. And my client is 45 years old. He's been living in Georgia his whole life, graduated from high school. He's currently gainfully employed. He does scaffold. He builds scaffold. He's been doing that for the past 35 years. His indigency is a concern, Your Honor, and he cannot afford bond at this time. And due to his job, reporting would be difficult for him, Your Honor. And so I am requesting a signature bond through the jail.
Okay. For each charge, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial, which makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. Level 1 day anger awareness. No further violent contacts with Tanika Arnold or Tatiana Arnold, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Arnold.
Thank you.
Mr. Blake, position 4.
Good afternoon, Mr. Blake. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Blake, you've been charged in case 23 CR 006227J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Gordon?
The defendant has 4 cycles beginning in 2019. Last arrest was October 11th of this year from Atlanta for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. That case is open. Nothing further to add.
Yes, Mr.
Your
Walker.
Honor, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1480 Graham Street, where they spoke to the victim, Ms. Samaria Miller, who advised that her and the defendant were engaged in a domestic dispute, at which time he did become violent. It's my understanding that he punched a glass door, causing the door to shatter. Then subsequently, that glass shattered into the victim's face. We are asking for a UJR through pretrial services, no further violent contact with Ms. Samaria Miller, and the condition of an FDIP course. I believe Ms. Miller is on the line.
If Ms. Miller would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so.
Yes, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, ma'am. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
So this happened last year. We had another child since then. So I didn't even want to press charges on him for it because it was so old. And so we have 2 other kids. So no contact. We need contact because we have 2 other kids. So
Okay, there hasn't been any incident since these allegations back in December of last year?
no,
Are you afraid of him?
no,
Would you like him to come home?
yes,
Anything further, ma'am?
no.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Anything further, Ms. Abden?
Just objection to the FFIP course. We are requesting no further violent contact, as you've heard. They do have 2 young, small children together. This incident allegedly occurred about a year ago. And so I am requesting a signature bond, but that be through the jail, Your Honor. He is gainfully employed. He does help take care of the children, Your Honor. And so I am requesting a signature bond through the jail.
A $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with Ms. Miller, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Blake. You also, Ms. Miller.
Thank you.
Judge, I do have a quick announcement.
Okay.
For position 12, Mr. Polk, he should be in Union City. It looks like I might have to give them a call because I don't see them signed on.
Okay.
And then position 16 is a reset.
Okay, reset for tomorrow, 10/17.
Well, I'm thinking we're gonna still have the same issue on tomorrow because he refused to speak to a public defender.
Okay. Well, let's give him till tomorrow. Ms. Abden, Mr. White, if maybe you can get Mr. Howard, possibly. I'm not sure what the issue is, or let's try again for tomorrow.
I've already contacted Mr. Howard about
Okay.
Mr. Thompson.
All right, so let's reset him for tomorrow just to see if Mr. Howard's able to make any progress.
Okay.
Okay, so 10/17. And that will, except for position 12, that will do it for you in courtroom 2, is that right?
Yes, that's it. I can
Okay.
go ahead and contact Union City to make sure they log on.
Okay, if you'll do that for us, please, I'd appreciate it.
They did attempt to call me, Judge. I have not been able to speak with Mr. Polk. They called me while we were doing court and I couldn't actually speak with them. I've tried to call them back, but I haven't heard anything.
Okay, so we'll see if we can, maybe if we get them on, we can put you in a breakout room, Mr. White.
Give me 1 second, Judge. I'm gonna try to call.
Okay, thank you. While we do that, Ms. Bridgewater, let's see if we can go over the calendar so that we'll at least have that out of the way.
Sure. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is October the 31st. Position number 1 is being reset further notice with a $1,500 SOB through the jail. Position 2 is reset further notice with a $3,000 total SOB through pretrial services. Now, on position number 2, I was not able to get the contact. Is it no further violent contact or no further contact at all?
Is that Mr. Tyree Arnold?
Yes.
That was no further violent contact, I believe.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, moving on to position number 3, it's going to the SAP calendar with the $1,000 good bond. Position 4 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 5 is reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through the jail. Position 6, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 7 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 8 is being reset further notice with a total $1,000 SOB through the jail. 9 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 10, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through the jail. 11, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. We're holding on 12. 13 is being reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial services. 14, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 15, reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through pretrial services. 16 is being reset till tomorrow. 17 is being reset with a total $2,000 SOB through the jail. It's being reset further notice. 18 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. And 19 being reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Thus far, are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
It appears so. Thank you, Ms. Bridgewater.
Thank you.
I guess we'll be in recess until we hear back from courtroom 2.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes.
Yes, I just got off the phone with them. They're gonna go ahead and log on now. That way they can do the breakout with Tom.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And if you could have them call me. Form two.
Oh, I told them to just go ahead and log on, Tom. That way you can just do a
Okay.
breakout. Or you rather for them to just call?
It's probably easier for them to call me as far as interviewing. They can still log on and we can do it that way, but I mean, I can have them interviewed by the time we get on there probably. Whatever. I'm easy. We'll get there.
All right.
It must be worse with computers than I am, Francois. What's
Hey, Tom, they're trying to get them now. The
okay?
officer, they have to escort them.
Oh, they had to go.
Like, yeah,
No worries.
I think they're just gonna go ahead and do the breakout, because when I called, they already said that the officer left to try to go grab them.
Perfect.
Okay.
Hey, Ian.
Hello?
Yes, is this the sergeant at the South Annex?
Yes.
And this this is Keon Polk.
Yes.
And Mr. White, are you still in need of talking with your client, or have you done that?
I haven't had a chance to speak with him yet, Judge.
Okay, so can we go ahead and put the South Annex and Mr. White, I guess, into a breakout room, please? Okay, are we ready to proceed?
We are, Judge.
And if we could unmute the South Annex. Sergeant Smith.
Sorry, what's
Okay.
up? We here.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Let's see. You've been charged in case 23 CR 006233B with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Gordon?
The defendant has 2 cycles beginning in 2023. Last arrest was August 30th of this year in Atlanta for driving without a valid license. That case is open. There's another open case, theft by taking and simple battery, 23 CR 003922C, that was being supervised by a pretrial. We will surrender that bond today, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Ms. Dunlap?
So around 1:30 a.m., our victim, Keisha Kennedy, when appropriate, the defendant broke into her residence located at 1702 Mary George Avenue, Northwest Atlanta. She and her husband's friend, who works for Snellville PD, went to the house and found the door had been broken off its hinges. They found the defendant in the bathroom of the property, and the friend Sonny detained him. When the cops arrived, they spoke to the defendant when he stated that he broke in because he's homeless and did not want to pay for a hotel. We are looking for $1,500 surety bond, conditions: no further contact with the victim, Miss Keisha Kennedy, stay away from 1702 Mary George Avenue Northwest, and no guns, drugs, or alcohol.
Okay, let's see if this is Keisha Kennedy on the line, or if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. You, of course, do not have to address the court, but if you would like to address the court, I'm happy to hear from you. I would have to swear you in. Would you like to address the court this afternoon?
Yes, sir. Both my
Oh.
husband and I would. Yes.
Okay, so if you can both raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Yes, I do.
Okay, you can place your hands down. What would you like to tell the court?
Your Honor, I think it was a little bit more to that story than what was told in reference to, and I know we're not here to argue facts about a case, but I think his propensity to continue to do this is obvious. He's a little bit more than, it was a little bit more information. He was not homeless. He lived a few doors down from this property. His actual mom came up and retrieved some clothing items. I'm not sure what he was doing beforehand, but he had already changed clothes after committing the entry into the property. It just, can I say this, Your Honor? I'm 22 years in law enforcement, 17 with DeKalb County. Been a street officer for 3 or 4 years, and then the rest of it has been investigation. I'm now a federal investigator. Clearly what I see in this particular case, this young man has been doing this and has the experience. First of all, he kicked the door at the hinges. A rookie typically try to kick on the doorknob. He propped the door back up, stayed on the property. He destroyed the alarm system beyond the use. He even went so far as to remove the SIM card so the system couldn't communicate anymore. He also unplugged the router to take down the camera system. I'm not sure what he had planned to do inside of the property, but I sent friends over to get there before I could, and he was still on property. He said that he was homeless, which he was not. He lives only a few doors down. It was a number of things that leads me to believe that he is one of the culprits that has been preying on other investors in the area and causing our costs to go up from what we've been doing and working on these properties, trying to revitalize Atlanta. So I'm not opposed to this young man getting out at all. I know his age, from understanding he's 17 years old. I'm not trying to keep him in jail or none of those things, but he needs to be held responsible for the things that he is doing in that community over there.
All right, thank you, is Mr. Polk? I'm sorry, Mr. Kennedy? Okay, Ms. Kennedy, do you have anything further?
No, Your Honor, that pretty much sums it up.
Oh, I forgot, he also had a replica gun on him. It was an airsoft pistol.
Okay, thank you. And at the time, is this a vacant property?
It is, it's up for sale. We renovated the property. I'm not sure why it was just charged with criminal trespass, because the damage is far exceed criminal trespass. And I will argue also that with him destroying and removing the alarm system from inside the location, it's on camera that he's doing this, is that it exceeds criminal trespass.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Ms. Kennedy also. Yes, Mr. White.
Judge, we're asking Mr. Polk be allowed to sign his own bond. Based on the warrant, none of the other issues that the Kennedys brought up, I think should be addressed here. The warrant says that he kicked the door down. Mr. Polk said that the door was already off the hinges and it just sort of fell over. We're asking that he be allowed to sign his own bond. He is 17 and a half years old. His mother may live down the street, but he informs me that he does not live with her. They may be estranged in some way. I'm not sure. He is employed at Wendy's full time and basically typically lives in a hotel while he's trying to, I guess, get enough finances together to actually get a place of his own. So we're asking that he be allowed to sign his own bond.
Does he have a place? And yes, I saw the note that he's on video. That's all for another day. He's charged with criminal trespass today. So you'll have the opportunity to make further arguments down the road, but I did see what was in the chat. Does he have a place to live, Mr. White?
Judge, he can afford to stay in a hotel if he has to. So yes, he can find a place to live.
Okay, I asked the question because I wondered, does he need a social worker visit if he's homeless, as far as help with housing? If you're telling me that he doesn't, then I guess it won't be necessary.
It can't hurt to have that, Judge. Like I said, he is employed and does make a decent amount of money. He wouldn't even qualify for our services going forward based on what he tells me, but sure. Anything that we can get for him that may prevent him from having to live on the street or something like this happen again, we would welcome.
Your Honor.
Just a couple of things. First off, I don't believe the defendant is 18, so I don't even think you can legally rent a hotel room under the age of 18. And in addition to that, we just want to make it known to the court that this case is being reviewed by our DA's office. That's all.
Okay, Ms. Dunlap, did you have something?
That was what I was chiming in.
Okay, all right. So I do want there to be a social worker visit to assist with housing if necessary. It'll be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with either Mr. or Ms. Kennedy. Stay away from the 1702, I believe it's May George Avenue address. Get the correct address for me, Ms. Bridgewater. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay, anything further? You're welcome. All right, good luck to all of you. I think with that concludes this afternoon's calendar. If there's nothing else, anything else from anyone? If not, I will see you all tomorrow. I thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everybody.
Okay.
He said, thank you.